Good morning, boys and girls. It's Tuesday, and it's our second day of Frog Week. I brought my frog friends. Ooh. This one is Leapfrog. Remember, he's helping us to read. And of course, I have my funny little puppet. And he likes to croak. We'll talk more about frogs in just a minute. But first, I wanted to talk a little bit about your 10 little pirate books. Remember? 1 little, 2 little, 3 little pirates, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little pirates, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little pirates, 10 little pirates found treasure. Remember, we worked on them last week, and I'm so excited because some of you, I got to see them already. Now, some of you I know are still working, and that's okay, because authors take their time, and they do their illustrations over and over, and they make sure the words or the letters they write match what they want their reader to know. So let's see. I did see from Lucy and Mayabelle that they were able to do a video chat together, and they played the dice war game. That was a great idea their parents had, to get them online so they could visit a little bit and practice their math at the same time. Olivia played the war dice game. She played against her little brother Julian, and she asked me at the end of her video if I liked it to give it a thumbs up. So I did. Nice job with that game. Olivia also, she kind of lost to her brother Julian, but I was so proud of her because she said, "It's only a game." And she said it with a smile. I was very proud that she learned that. That's wonderful. Now, Evan, he's always putting out videos, and I got to see him writing his book, trying to figure out the right letters to use. He did a great job. And our word little, I could see him trying to write it, because we want to always recognize little, now that we've written it so many times. Serenity, her mom said she started her book, so I haven't seen it yet, but I'm very excited. And it looks like Mayabelle and Avery also had a little video chat together. So Mayabelle's been very busy with all of that, and Mayabelle dedicated her book to Aiden, who I think is her cousin, and she finished her pirate book. I heard from Peyton's family. Hi, Peyton! I know she's been watching these videos, and hopefully pretty soon I'll get to see some of the work she's been doing. But good job watching those videos and keeping up with us. All right, well, we're ready to start this week. If you haven't sent me your book yet, I can't wait to see it. Let's get started with our frogs. So, how about we do a new frog song? It's a little silly. You ready for silly? Okay, here we go. Ready? You have to shut your eyes and open them, so you might want to watch me do it the first time. It's really short. I'll do it, and then we'll do it together. Are you ready? Here's my frog. Ready? Watching my face. Here we go. Went the little green frog one day. Went the little green frog. Went the little green frog one day, and his eyes went. Ready to try it with me? Remember, you got to do your eyes, and don't forget your tongue. Tongues are very important to frogs. That's how they catch their food. Here we go. Went the little green frog one day. Went the little green frog. Went the little green frog one day, and his eyes went. Nicely done. All right. Well, yesterday we talked a lot about this, the life cycle of a frog. Remember, our little frog started out as an egg. And then out of the egg came the tadpole. Our tadpole had to breathe through his gills, and it had a tail and a very tiny, tiny mouth. Did the tadpole need his mom and dad to take care of him? No. Those little tadpoles take care of themselves, and they have to be careful because other fish and things might want to eat them. Then after a while, our little tadpole friend looked like this. He he has some hind legs. He still has his tail and his little mouth, and he's breathing with his gills. Well, before long, the next step, he got his front legs. Perfect. He's a froglet now. And now his gills are changing. And pretty soon, he will be able to hop right out of the water because he will be an adult frog. And of course, to complete the cycle, the adult frog will lay eggs. And the eggs will hatch into tadpoles, and the tadpoles grow back legs. Then they grow front legs. Then they're an adult, and then they lay eggs. And that's why it's called a life cycle, because it keeps cycling and cycling around. Well, I thought we could talk a little bit today about, I'm not going to say the word. I'm going to write it and see if you can read it. All right, you ready? So, here's our word. It's going to start with the first part. B. That's just the first part. So when you want to read a new word, what do? You do the sounds. Ready? H-a-b. What part? Hab. Hab. And then this sound is all by itself. What's that one? I. So we have what part? Hab. What part? I. And here's the last part. Do the sounds with me. T-at. Put it together. Tat. So now let's read the parts and blend them. Ready? What part? Hab. What part? I. What part? Tat. What word? Habitat. Okay. Now we've talked about habitats before, but it was a while ago. Remember when you were experts on your animal that lived in the forest? The forest was its habitat. And remember, an animal's habitat, I'm going to write it right here. Hab. Remember? Hab. Now what's I? Hab. Habitat. Now let's see. What was one of the things that a habitat had to provide for the living things that live there? Oh, I heard you say it. That's right. It has to provide food. Good job. And then, what was another thing that the habitat provides? You remembered. Water. Great. And the next two are a little harder. That's right. It needs shelter. Remember the sound? Shh. You need two letters for that. Shh. Yes. S-H says shh. I'm going to write it. Shh. Let's see. Shh. There's that E sound. Shell. What letter? L. That's shell. And the next part is ter. T. You know that. T. And then at the end is usually ER. So it needs shelter. Food, water, shelter. And the last one, that's the hardest. Space. A habitat has to have the proper amount of space. If too many animals live there, they use up all the food and the water and it won't work. So space. Sp. Those two sounds kind of go together. Sp. It is. Oops. S. Sp. P. Sp. A. I hear it. A. Space. It sounds like an S. Sometimes words are tricky, but it's a C this time, and I have to add an E to make that A say its name. So ready? A habitat needs food, water, shelter, and space. So, today in your science notebooks, you are going to work on that. Here's mine. Now let's think about this little frog of ours. What would be be the correct habitat for a frog? Yes. You're going to go to the next empty page. And you're going to write that a frog, there's my little frog, and what's his habitat? It's a pond. Pond. See? If you say the word, you can sound it out. It has a pond. And I want you to draw a picture of the pond where a frog would live. Don't put the frog in until the end. See, I may even use my little frog here from our leapfrog game to stick him in. Let's see. If I was drawing a pond, and I'm going to do it on my board because I'm kind of running out of time again. First of all, most of my pond would be water, right? These are my waves in there. So, oh, look, I did. That's where the water comes from. And also on my pond, I think there would be some plants, especially all around the edge. And the little frog would be eating things that are the frog or the tadpole would be eating things that are in the water. Now, when it becomes a frog, what else would there be? Oh, my marker's pink. There might be, you know what I'm making? Some little bugs. I'm just making a bug body and then putting some wings. You might be able to make it more detailed. If there are flies, that little frog might jump up and get the flies. That's the food. Tadpoles would eat food that are already in there. Now, what about shelter? What's the shelter for a frog? That's right, having places to hide in the pond. And sometimes, where all these beautiful plants are, there's what you call a lily pad. Now, frogs, they might jump up on those lily pads to sun themselves, but they also dive deep into the water to hide from predators. If a snake or something was to come in, maybe they could jump out and they might go and hide. I'm thinking about some rocks that could be on the edge of my pond. They might go and sit in the rocks over there. So that would be different kinds of shelter. And is there enough space in a pond for a frog? There is. If I put my frog in a puddle with 5 other frogs, that's not going to work. But a pond definitely would have enough space. I'm going to stick him right in there. You might draw yours. So let's see. This is my pond habitat. It has food, bugs, and little pieces of plant life inside. It has water because it's a pond. That provides what it needs. It has shelter. They might hide in the rocks or the lily pads. And it has space. There's room for lots of frogs. And there's lots of food at my pond. So, in your science notebooks, go to the next empty page. And right at the top, you can write pond habitat. And draw it. Draw what a frog would need in his habitat. We learned a little bit yesterday from the book by Gail Gibbons I read you. You could see that. If you want to go back and look at the book on the video, then you would see all the things that the frogs have in their ponds. There's some great pictures there. Put your frog in there. You don't have to write the words food, shelter, water, and space, but you can if you want. Some of you are so smart. You do such good work. All right. I'll see you in the next half. Have fun, boys and girls.